So the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning is really a creative context for support of the best possible educational program for the 21st century. So that's the big idea of this.
The center will be in the center of the school. And there's a certain tradition that is being revivified at St. Mark's in the right 21st century way. Up until the mid-70s, the intellectual center of St. Mark's was indeed in the center. That's what the schoolroom did. Then it became appropriate to change the way the center of the school was. It was very important to have the center be all around helping students really engage with each other, to have it be a warm, friendly location for this warm, friendly school. That served well for a couple of generations, but now we are putting the intellectual center right back in the center of the school.
So the center's idea really comes out of a seed idea, creating space and time for that which we all desire, which is to really do this sort of collaborative work and innovation and really pay close attention to the scholarship of teaching and learning.
This year especially, we have been talking a lot about interdisciplinary courses. And one of the ideas was, well, we can teach, in this case, religion, but in Spanish. Why not?
Every year we have added or changed or tried to work ways of being more flexible in our curriculum. We have a wonderful student body and a wonderful faculty body who would like to do more interesting and innovative kinds of projects. So we have faculty members who are working closely with students, for example, on independent studies projects.
So this independent study project, it started just with Senora Sanchez and I talking about, it was my fifth form year, my junior year, and we were just talking about possibilities for classes for next year. I had become good friends with her, and she was interested, I think, in sort of shaping what I was going to do for the next year. I knew that I had still to complete a religion requirement by the school, and we sort of looked at different possibilities, and then she had sort of this idea, why not we look at examples of religion and the context of that in Spain. We have sort of fantastic example in kind of medieval Spain. We have this incredible sort of mixture of the three Abrahamic faiths, and what better way to sort of apply sort of comparative religions than in the case of Al-Andalus, this sort of amazing cultural explosion before the kind of the official Spanish crown. So we had this sort of idea started picking up pace, and we realized that this would be really kind of a cool thing to do if we could get it past the religion department.
I signed up for pre-Columbian civilization, and I was like, oh, well, what's that? And I get to the class, and it's 4 other people and myself, and Senora Sanchez introduced the mind culture to us, and I was just really excited, and I just loved it. I had so many questions about it, and I just wanted to learn more.
So Nyla joined my pre-Columbian civilizations course last year. And I started with the origin of the men coming to the Americas. We went through the Olmecs, etc. And by the time we got to the Mayas, all of a sudden, her eyes were really wide open. It's like, wow, this is fascinating.
I wish there was more, that the courses were more combined, that we learned about Spanish, but we also learned about the culture and stuff behind it. Because I know, there's a lot of trips that you can take, study abroad, and when you speak a different language. But if you actually had a course where it's okay, you're learning about the culture and learning the language, so that when you do a study abroad, you already basically know know about the culture there, and not just shoved into a new place and new surroundings. So
it seems to me appropriate that we would want to tie a lot of our educational experiences with real-world applications.
I know for a fact that this was one of the reasons why I had come to St. Mark's. I knew that there would be, because it is a smaller school, you'd have more flexibility, you would have a little bit more oversight in terms of building your own curriculum here. That was really important to me, because I knew that I would be able to maybe start with the math and physics that I wanted to and build up from there. Maybe I hadn't anticipated coming into St. Mark's that I would end up doing this sort of thing, studying religion in Spanish. That I didn't anticipate that. That was sort of in the moment. But it didn't surprise me that this was something that Senora Sanchez was capable of. It's clear that she always has 3 or 4 courses in her mind that she puts together. She's just thinking of ways of just doing this, integrating things and offering new things. It's just the only problem is that she's one person, and she can only do so many things. But she was definitely the person to go to for this sort of thing.
Mainly, what I'm really excited about in terms of faculty development is really having the opportunity and the time and the space to collaborate. We need to be talking to each other more often. We need to leverage each other's experiences and wisdom in a more sophisticated way, but also in a way that conveys that we have the time to do that. And right now, that is somewhat of a challenge.
Senora Sanchez has helped me so much and helped me realize what I really want to do. And I feel like without her, I kind of would be lost.
There aren't very many secondary schools that are doing or leveraging their resources in this way, really creating not only sort of the vision for the best in class program, but creating the physical structure for that, and really, I would say putting our resources where our mouth is in terms of education. I think when you make a decision to create a hub that will endure whichever the way the winds blow around educational practice and theory, that's a true commitment to the best in terms of education. And I'm glad that I'm part of a school that has really put that stake in the ground and said, at the end of the day, it's the educational program that's most important, not always necessarily college admission. I mean, that's an important component, but it really is the day-to-day lived experiences of our students and really preparing them in a very strategic way, in a very well-informed, data-driven way, and dedicating that time and our resources to do that.
That's why I think that this course was just a really great fit for me, because it was an integration of a few different subjects. And I sincerely believe now that if you take something like this, something interdisciplinary, maybe this kind of comparative religions in a different language, or maybe cognitive science, you're going to get kind of a greater creative output, because you're combining ideas and people from different fields. And that's usually when the best stuff gets put together.